Joe Walsh, the former Republican congressman, author of Silence, calling Trump out for the cultish, moronic, authoritarian con man he is. He's host of the podcast Silence as well. Do you mean that word, moronic?
I do. Boy, Larry, it's awesome to hear you say that title out loud.
I know.
You're a hero of mine. I love it that you say that word.
Thank you. So you think he's a moron?
Hey, Larry, we don't talk about that enough about Trump because he's so dishonest and he's so corrupt. And as you and I have said, he lacks empathy, but we don't talk enough about the fact that I think he's an absolute dumb shit. I think he's dumb. I think he's a stupid, ignorant man. And that's a big part of the problem he's in. He doesn't listen and he doesn't read.
All right, what didn't you know when you were for him?
You know what, Larry?
Question.
I didn't pay enough. No, it's a great question. I didn't pay enough attention to him. Unlike you knew him from way back. I ignored him in the 80s and 90s. I never watched The Apprentice. He was the Republican nominee. I figured he's a blowhard and a goof. He wasn't Hillary, so I said, what the hell? Maybe a couple good things might happen. I should have paid more attention to him.
Democratic Senator Bob Casey of Pennsylvania says Democrats are not in power, but Joe Biden, by definition, is the candidate of change. He said he has a huge advantage on that basis alone. Do you think Biden has an advantage?
I think he does, Larry. I don't know if it's change. I think America, Larry, is exhausted with Trump. Even, I tried my Don Quixote primary challenge to Trump. Even talking to a lot of Republicans privately back then, they're just tired of all the crap. Donald Trump is in our faces every single day. I think Joe Biden represents, let's take a time out. Let's pause. Let's just relax for 4 years and get our stuff together. I think that's what Biden represents for a lot of people.
Who do you think he's going to pick as a running mate?
I think he should pick Elizabeth Warren or Kamala Harris, somebody who's already been vetted, Larry. I don't want him to pick somebody unknown because I don't want his vice president to be a story. I want the story to be Trump, Trump, Trump. Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris have already been vetted. They're ready for the big stage. I hope it's one of those two.
We're going to have no national conventions, right?
None.
None. Does that have any effect on the election?
I think it'll help Biden. Donald Trump would do his thing, Larry. He'd have a big, stupid convention, and Trump wants to do his big old rallies. The same people go to these rallies. Let's be honest. I like Joe Biden. I'm working my tail off for Biden. Biden can't put 5,000 people in an arena. So I think the fact that there won't be a lot of people-to-people campaigning, I think it helps Biden. And here's the other thing, Larry. Most everybody, their minds are pretty damn well made up on this thing. I don't think we need a lot of campaigning.
In other words, if you're undecided, something's wrong with you.
You're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot, or you're just not paying attention. But I'll tell you what, Larry, this pandemic, a lot of people didn't pay attention to Trump. You and I did because it's our game before the pandemic. But this pandemic has wiped out so many Americans, and it's brought to the fore the fact that the guy's unfit. As you say all the time, Larry, Donald Trump doesn't care about anyone but himself. I heard you say he's incapable of even faking caring about anyone. I think that's really come home to a lot of the American people now.
In a recent New York Times opinion piece, Elizabeth Drew said that debates never made any sense, doesn't change the election. She said they should be scrapped altogether. What do you think?
Oh, bull. have the debates. Donald Trump sucks at the debates. Look, I didn't like Hillary, Larry, but in 2016, Hillary cleaned his clock in those 3 debates. Again, Trump is a dumbass. Trump can't put one sentence together. He's a lousy debater. I think one-on-one, Larry, Joe Biden is a very underrated debater. I think in a debate or two, I think he'd run circles around Trump.
Over the weekend, the former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang predicted that Joe Biden would clean Trump's clock in a debate. You agree with that?
Oh, I really, really do. Biden, even though Biden's up there in years, he's not a young spring chicken like you are. Biden has lost a step, but Joe Biden, Larry, has always been a really strong debater, especially one-on-one. Again, Trump is a lousy debater. So I don't know if we need 4 debates, but I think 2 to 3, and it would be clear to the American people. It would seal the deal for Biden, I think.
A recent Huffington Post YouGov survey shows a plurality of Americans, 46%, now say the United States is handling the COVID pandemic worse than any other country in the world. What do you make of that?
Yeah, how about that, Larry? Think about this. We're the biggest, most powerful, wealthiest nation in the world, and yet we've had the worst response to this virus. It's incredible, but it's not, because it's all Trump. From the beginning, Trump didn't give a damn about it. From the beginning, he ignored the experts. From the beginning, he lied to the American people about it. This is not a shock, Larry. There's no plan in America to deal with the virus. There's no plan because, in essence, we don't have a president. We don't have somebody in the White House who's capable of telling the truth or giving a damn. And the country is paying a serious price for this.
What proof does he have that mail-in voting leads to rigged? What is he? Does he think that Democratic voters go around to other mailboxes and see if you're a Republican, they steal your ballot? How does it rigged?
He's got no proof, Larry. What he's trying to do, and I know this because I hear from his people all the time, he's trying to piss off his voters. He is purposely trying to delegitimize our election. And the reason he's doing it, Larry, is because when he loses, and I think there's a part of him that knows he's going to lose, he wants all of his supporters to be pissed off and not accept the results of the election. There's nothing behind the wild claims he makes, but I can tell you, Larry, most of his supporters believe that there's massive voter fraud out there. When Trump loses, I think what he's doing, Larry, is this is what's so ugly and dangerous. He is literally planting the seeds for his supporters not to accept the result, and he's opening the gates for his supporters to get violent. And I think you're going to see ugliness and violence after this election, no matter how much he loses by.
All right, there's some people floating the idea that if Trump really believes that he's only going to have one term, he's going to quit, and he'll invent some reason for quitting. You buy that?
You know him better than I do. I don't think he'd do that, because then I think he'd be the biggest embarrassment in American history. I think, Larry, it's better for him to lose and then to blame voter fraud and fake news and all the rest. I think Donald Trump is a quitter. He's a coward. I think that's the better route for a coward.
You think the Democrats can take the Senate?
I think they've already taken it. I think they will take it by more than people think. Look, Larry, I'm a Republican. I'm a former Republican. I'm out there campaigning for Democrats to take the Senate because every one of these Senate Republicans, Larry, they've broken their oath. They decided a long time ago, I'm not going to defend America. I'm going to defend Trump. Trump is a criminal in the White House. They've enabled him. They all need to lose. And Larry, I think a bunch of them are going to lose.
What's the story with the Republican Party? You say you're a Republican. If Trump loses and the Democrats take control of the Senate, what's the symbolic central of who's the center of the Republican Party?
Well, Larry, I'm a dark Irishman. I think the Republican Party is done. I think it's over. Trump is going to lose big, but yet the vast majority of Republicans will vote for him. So even after Trump loses, I think Trumpism is going to dominate. And Larry, Trump's not going anywhere. He'll lose. He'll grab Sean Hannity. They'll start their own TV network. He'll make trouble for the Republican Party for the next 4 years. So I think the party is still going to be him.
So he's not the titular head.
I think he will be if he wants to be. If not, but look, somebody like me, I'm a conservative. I oppose Trump. I can't run for anything in the Republican Party for the next 4 to 8 years because I'm anti-Trump. So I still think you need to worship Donald Trump because the party is his party even after he loses. That's why I think the Republican Party is already broken up, because there are a lot of conservatives like me, Bill Kristol and others, who will never go back to that party.
Mitt Romney apparently is the only elected official standing up to him. Why?
Well, Romney's got nothing to lose. He's in Utah. He's popular. He's probably not running again. All the other Republicans, Larry, they're scared to death of Donald Trump's supporters. I know you have everybody tell you this, so I'll tell you this. Every one of these Republicans, they tell me privately that Trump's a moron, he's dishonest, they want him to lose, he's a bad guy. They all tell me that privately. They're not afraid of Trump. They're afraid of Trump's voters. So they don't want to alienate Trump's voters after he loses.
Joe, always great talking with you. Thanks so much.
You're my hero, Larry. Thank you, man.